Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. How are you? I'm hoping that there's no music on in the background because I was listening to some music before I jumped on. How are you? Good to see you. Hey, Reby, Angela, Mr. Dan Yee, Nana Marilyn Landis, Jojo, and birthday girl, Peekaboo Cockatiel. How are you? Good to see you all. All right. Yay. I hope she got home. Trish was saying that she was trapped at her car or something. I hope she's home now. It's like midnight. Who's messaging me? Okay. All right. Let's get back into it. Like I told you on Trisha's show, there was a 10 p.m. update. Let's just have a quick look. Let's see what they're saying in the forecast advice. No, let's not do that one. Let's go to the discussion. Discussion's got more information. All right, let's do this. So tomorrow when it gets closer to landfall, I'll be on until we get to landfall. So I'm going to start the show, I don't know, a few hours out from landfall, and then we're going to see it through together. We're going to see through the entire hurricane together. So they're saying here that the NOAA and Air Force Hurricane Hunter aircraft have been investigating Milton. They sound like detectives. And they say they provided a number of center fixes. So a center fix is this. Actually, I might be able to show you. Let's go to flight 24 for a second. If they're out, I'll be able to show you. Are they coming back out? Oh, no. Teal. Oh, actually, no. Yes, but no. So Teal's heading home. Teal 73 is heading home now to Biloxi. And his friend Teal 71 is heading out to the hurricane. So I'm going to backtrack Teal's path a little bit. Oh, we can't see it. That's a shame. That's not great. So what a fix is if I zoom in here, here's the eye. Looks pretty terrible on this image. It's where they fly around and then I'll sort of do this kind of like this kind of movement. And I'll keep going back and like backwards and forwards and up and down. And they're trying to find the exact center of the hurricane because where it looks like is the eye is not always the exact meteorological center of the hurricane. So they've got some instruments and stuff that'll tell them where it is. And they sort of fly around and keep checking. And when they find it, they drop one of their probes down from the airplane. And that's how we get the updates. Shame I couldn't show you, but the track is not showing up right now. So they're saying they did drop one of those probes, and data from the aircraft confirmed that the hurricane had regained its Category 5 intensity earlier today, with maximum wind speeds near 145 knots and central pressure as low as 102 millibar. More recent aircraft observation showed that central pressure had risen somewhat. Okay. And they said that, so the advisory intensity is adjusted down to 140 knots. All right, let's have a look. 140 knots equal miles per hour. So it's 161 miles per hour, still above that 155 threshold for Cat 5. So that's still about 5-6 miles per hour above the Cat 5 threshold. A little lower from before, though. It was 145 knots. I think it's 166. Oh, no. Wait, what? No. Yeah. So 145 is 166 miles per hour. So it's dropped a little bit, not tons, but it's dropped, about 5 miles per hour in intensity. So wind speeds have dropped slightly. They're saying this is consistent with the latest subjective intensity estimates. They say center fixes from the aircraft and satellite images indicate that Milton's heading is gradually turning towards the left. They're just saying it's doing sort of like a bit of a dip right now and trying to head towards Florida. They're saying the system is being steered by flow from a trough digging over the Gulf of Mexico and a ridge near the Greater Antilles. Milton should move northeast on Wednesday with a slight increase in forward speed. Well, it already has. It was around 6 to 7 miles per hour. It's now up around 12 miles per hour forward speed. So it has increased, almost doubled its speed in about 24 hours. And it says here, the official track forecast is very similar to the previous one and is generally a little north of the model trackers, but follows the actual model predicted cyclone center locations. This is close to a blend of the latest GFS and European model. Again, it's critical to remember that even 24 hours out, it is still not possible to pinpoint an exact landfall location. It could do all sorts of things. I've seen hurricanes sort of wobble at the last minute and hit somewhere north. I've seen them do it again and then head south. It's very strange what they can do, especially severe hurricanes. Don't get it so much on the baby, like the smaller ones, like category 1 or 2. You get into the category 4 and 5, and you start getting into some oddities of weather. 2 of each. Sorry, Mrs. Ping's getting my dinner for tonight. She's like, "Do you want dumplings again?" I'm like, "Yes. Yes, I do." Because they're on special. So I was like, "Make sure you buy heaps because we eat a heap of them. A heap of them." And it says here, Milton is expected to maintain major hurricane strength while it moves across the eastern Gulf of Mexico and approaches the west coast of Florida, although an expected increase in vertical wind shear, that's the photo I showed you on the first show, should cause some weakening. I don't think it's going to be as much as we think it is. Milton is expected to still be an extremely dangerous major hurricane as it reaches shore and landfall tomorrow. All right, cool. So yeah, it sounds like they're not expecting as major of a decrease as they were earlier, and the fact that it's maintaining its heading and speed and intensity right now tells you that uh, if you're on the western coast of Florida, west central coast, I hope you're not there. I really do. I hope you are not there. Does it hit at 5? No, I don't think it will. I think if it hits at 3, we'll be lucky. If it hits at 4, I would be very unshocked. But we'll see how much that shear comes into play. Here, I think I still have that photo for you. So here's that shear. Ah, sorry. There was people here doing our like hallways, and I was like, "Who the f is that in my hallway? Who do I have to go beat up?" 2, 4. Guys, give me 1 second. Mrs. Ping, hold on. All right, sorry, there you go. Sorry, some things are easier said over the phone than texting all the time, and she keeps texting, and I'm like, "All right, it's easier if I just ring you and tell you what I mean." So I just could ring her for a second and tell her. So yeah, so this is that wind shear. You see these 2 bits here. There's over the top here throughout the Gulf, and then coming up through Cuba, sort of here. I don't think this is going to do all that much. I think it's this one here. My mouse won't show up, but we're under New Orleans, where it says New Orleans. You see all these really deep red arrows. This is what the hurricane's going to start interacting with, and this is what they think might downgrade it eventually. That, and when it starts to get close to land and get onto land, even the edge of it, it causes disruption to its to the hurricane. So let's hope so. No, I don't. I look, if it hits as a 5, then all the forecast models in the US have failed. That means every meteorologist in Florida has failed, and they have to all go back to meteorology school because it means our forecast models are broken and that they're unable to forecast intensity or interactions with other meteorological features in the atmosphere. Rachel says, yeah, I think even so, I think we talked about it on the first show. Even if it downgrades, right? Even if it downgrades to a Cat 4 or 3 or whatever, it's not going to take away the storm surge. And what we hear, what is the number one killer in hurricanes? It's the storm surge. I mean, the winds do damage and knocks things down and tears roofs off and things like that. But the thing that actually kills people is the water. That's not going to go away. That's still going to be there. It doesn't matter what intensity it is. It doesn't matter if it's I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a 4, a 3, a 5. That storm surge is still going to be really intense. Think of it, 12 feet. That's 2 pings standing on my, like, that's me again on top of me. I'm 6 foot tall. That's me on top of me. Like that's like as tall as my roof. That's like a what? Wait, hold on. Actually, it's sort of like above my second story here. It's not good. Hey, bipolar, how are you, mate? Hey, Casper. It's 2 pings. How much flooding are you going to get? 2 of me. Quite tall, 12 feet in some places. I've seen 15 feet forecast in Tampa, but I don't think it's going to get that high. I think if it had hit Tampa or north of Tampa, we would have been looking at that 15 to 20 feet storm surge easily. But if it is going to go south of Tampa now, I don't believe so. I think it's probably going to be around that 10 to 12 foot mark. I think it would be abnormal for it to be too crazy. Reby says, Cat 5 hit close to my hometown in 2011 and took our family ancestral home in a smaller coastal town. Are you talking about the Australian one? What was it called? The Cat 5? Oh, geez, it's been so long. It killed all the bananas in Australia. Yeah, Yassi, that's it. Yeah, Yassi was a monster. That hurricane was just an absolute beast. Did you know that Yassi produced a tornado north of Brisbane? A giant wedge tornado. Not kidding. I saw footage of it. Hold on, maybe I can find it. I don't know. The media is probably long gone these days, but yeah, I can show you a photo of Yassi. Yassi was a monstrous southern hemisphere hurricane. Yeah, this is Yassi from about a decade ago. Picture's a little blurry, but this thing was huge. That was a huge hurricane. Here's another one. You think Milton's just massive. This thing was just gigantic. But yeah, it did produce a tornado when it was an ex hurricane or whatever. It produced one down near Brisbane. Actually, there's a photo here of it. Why are these photos blurry? What's going on? Oh, it's Reuters. That's why. Let me see if I can get this. Because this is a cool photo. It's a little blurry. That's a shame. Accept. Open in new tab. There we go. So there's Australia, and this is Yassi. Yassi was like almost like from the top of Australia down to Victoria. It was just an absolute monster of a hurricane when it came through. That thing was huge. Hey, C. Taylor, how are you? From Tennessee. Good to have you. Yeah, yes. Didn't you hear them, Marge? We have no bananas. Yeah, so you missed the start. So yeah, that was a historical hurricane. Now it's long gone, long time ago. Yeah, had produced a giant wedge in Brisbane, which is abnormal. We don't get a ton of tornadoes down here. So to see one strolling through Brisbane was pretty weird. Although Brisbane do get tornadoes, but not that common, and not that common from tropical storms. All right, let's have a look at the forecast cone. We'll look at the wind speed probabilities. So this is actually the one that changed today. So the reason they changed the hurricane warning throughout Florida was partially this map, partially the rainfall map. But this little purple bit and some of this red stuff stretched further across from the eastern side of Florida. So it starts on the western side, move to the eastern side. It spread much further inland than they were expecting. Now you have places like Orlando, who are in a hurricane warning. They weren't they were going to be anyway, but it's much more severe now, and they're actually going to have a hard time. Unfortunately, they're going to have a bit of a hard few days, I think. And this is your rainfall probabilities. So you can see here now Orlando is within that orange stuff, not quite in the red or the dark red, but it is within that orange section here, meaning they are going to get quite a lot. And this is the rain. So what are they going to get in the orange? Between 8 to 12 inches of rain if you're in the orange. If you're in the red, between 12 and 16 inches. If for some reason you're out off the coast here on a boat or an island, between 16 and 20 inches of rain. So if you live here off the coast of Florida, you may be in trouble. I hope you move your island. I hope you turn the engine on and go elsewhere. Let's see, current and static images. So there you go. You guys can see the so major hurricane, it hits, and even when it's over here, it's still going to be considered a hurricane and then a hurricane. It's not going to be a ex-tropical system until it's 7 p.m. Friday, and it's about 500 miles off the coast of Florida. So we originally thought it would hit Florida and it would dissipate. By the time it came off the other side, the eastern side of Florida, it was probably going to be like an ex-tropical system or a Cat 1 or something very low level, but not now. They're now saying it will probably still be a Category 1 or 2. So very dangerous, especially for people who think maybe they live a little inland and they think everything's going to be okay. I would be cautious, very cautious. Yeah, so what does the M mean? Major hurricane, wind speeds greater than 110 mile per hour. So in the H, you have winds between 74 and 110 miles an hour. So that means anyone from this coast to this coast could experience those severe wind speeds and that rain that I showed you on the other map too. So yeah, they're going to have a interesting couple of days. That's interesting too. We say interesting a lot. This has extended too. This is the 10 to 15 foot, 9 to 13 foot storm surge area. This is Tampa here. This is the Bradenton, and my geography is not great. Boca Granada, is that a place? But anyway, that line, that purple line, has stretched much further down the coast now, and ends at around Bonita Beach. Bonita Beach, 8 to 12 foot storm surge, even that far down the coast. And then yeah, Edgemont Key is 10 to 13 feet. Boca Grande, 10 to 15 foot storm surge. 15 foot. It's like higher than a basketball hoop. You know, a basketball hoop that you play basketball with? It's higher than that. Can you imagine that? Water up to the rim of a basketball hoop, or even higher to the top of the backboard? That's what they're thinking about. As tall as a basketball hoop. No, not a place. Oh, thanks, Danny. Appreciate it. The Lockheed Martin went to Orlando. Yeah, did it? Let me have a look. It takes off from Lakeland. Is it in Orlando? Oh, you mean the company Lockheed Martin is in Orlando? Thanks. There we go. Yeah, because I was about to say I don't see any out right now. Just our friend Mr. Teal. Mr. Teal's out here. He's out from Biloxi, Mississippi, and he is a WC-130J Weatherbird, Lockheed Martin. There you go, Lockheed Martin. He's still flying out to the hurricane. His other friend already landed. See, his other friend landed at Biloxi. There he is, Teal 73. Oh no, he's going back out too. No, he has to refuel. No. He's gone home. He must be going home. He must be taxiing back to the. Must have just landed, and he's going to go back to his hangar. But there's his other friend, Teal 73. Both U.S. Air Force, and then on the other side they have the NOAA airplanes that come out. They have a little one, a little Gulfstream, like a private jet, and then they have one that looks like this too, like a giant. I don't know what it is. I think their one's a P3 Orion. So the NOAA one is a P3. These guys use the WC-130J, and what a job, hey? You get on an airplane and they're like, right, head to that giant storm and fly through the top of it. And when you get to the middle, drop the probe down. Do that about 10 times for us every hour. Will Cocoa Beach be hit very hard? Let me have a look. You guys have to remember I'm on the other side of the world and my geography is really terrible. Cocoa Beach. Let me have a look where that is on the map. Oh, it's on the west coast. It's on the east coast of Florida, south of Daytona Beach, on the eastern side of Orlando. Let me see these forecast maps. Where is it? It does look like that they're probably. Oops, why did it do that? It looks like they're right in somewhere around here, right? Sebastian Inlet. Okay, so just north of there. Just north of Sebastian's Inlet. Sorry, apparently we're losing our here. So Sebastian's Inlet. Okay, so they're in the 3 to 5 foot storm surge range. So that area that you're concerned about, they'll get quite a little bit of water inundation if you're right on the coastline. I think you'd have to be within the first, I don't know, 5 blocks from the coast. So if you're in the first 5 blocks from the coast around this area, around Cocoa Beach or Sebastian Inlet, it does look like they are expecting between 3 and 5 foot of storm surge. That's still a lot. And the reason for that is because hurricanes are two-sided, right? So we get the first side, which sweeps through like this, and you sort of get this kind of movement. That pushes all your water on. But as it comes across, you get the opposite side, which pushes water from that way. So you sort of get this way, and then on the back side, you get it from the reverse. So that's probably what's going to happen here. You're probably going to get it from one way and then the other way. So you sort of get two, you get like a double whammy in a hurricane, unfortunately. Kathy says, would you fly with one of the trained pilots into a hurricane? Any day. I've always felt like I wasted my life not being born in the US and becoming an Air Force pilot and becoming a hurricane hunter, because I would love to do that. But they don't take private citizens, unfortunately. They sometimes take TV people, like Weather Channel. Weather Channel has been up with them before. Actually, if you're interested in the hurricane hunters, they used to produce a TV show. Hold on, what was it called? They only did like 5 episodes, but there was a TV show they used to show on the Weather Channel, and it was all about the emissions into different storms, including one time when they almost get hit by a tornado inside a hurricane. Very interesting. Let me see if I can find it. What was that? Yeah, okay, it was just called Hurricane Hunters. There was a TV show back in the day produced for the Weather Channel. Great show. If you can find episodes somewhere, I think they might be on the Weather Channel website. Unfortunately, they only allow Americans to use that website. You need an American credit card. I think it's like $2 a month or something. Yeah, so they did produce a TV show called Hurricane Hunters back in 2012, and they fly into all these different storms, and you see how they work and stuff like that. And there you go. They are the Air Force Reserve Squadron based in Biloxi, Mississippi, who fly planes into hurricanes to better understand them. So if you're interested, you might be able to find it somewhere. Great show, one of Ping's favorites. Yep, West and East Side. Barbara Eden? I don't know who that is. Bewitched. Into the Storm? I'm not a huge fan of that movie. It made a lot of fun of storm chasers, and a lot of storm chasers are my friends, and I'm not really appreciative of like they're all redneck cowboys. Not really a huge fan of that. You want to watch a great movie? Watch the new Twister. The new Twister, so good. So well done. It's beautiful. It's such a great movie. Love it. When it first came out, I was like, I hate this movie. It's gonna suck. It doesn't have the same people in it. I mean, two of them are dead, but it's not gonna have Helen Hunt. No Helen Hunt. And I was like, no Helen Hunt. I don't want to know about it. And then I watched it, and then I researched a little bit about how they made the movie and who they involved in making it. And I was like, huh. They did a really good job. I'll tell you some little bit of trivia if you want about that movie. So Twister, the new one that came out this year, it's called Twisters, plural. They actually sent their entire the acting team to go work at the National Weather Service office in Norman, Oklahoma, at OU. OU has a huge National Weather Service office there that they do a lot of training of people in university and stuff like that. They sent all the actors there to work there for a week, and they had to learn how to be storm chasers, and they did it properly, and it shows in the movie with their language and stuff like that. So if you want to watch that one, I reckon that's a really good one. C. Taylor said the hurricane's right side is the most dangerous part of the storm because of the additive effect of hurricane wind speed and the speed of the larger atmospheric flow, the steering winds. Yes, so that's why the hurricane has a dirty side and a clean side. That's sort of what I'm telling you about, but I'm not a meteorologist. I specialize in tornadoes, not hurricanes. I mean, I know a little bit, and I can help you understand a little bit, but yeah, when my knowledge runs out eventually. Yeah, all right, that's about it. I don't think we're going to get any more updates today. A lot of the activity happens early in the morning to late at night because you have your daytime heating, which helps with evaporation on the ocean surface, fueling the hurricane or the changes in the hurricane, that type of thing. That's why you get a lot more sort of action during the day. But I will definitely keep you up to date. So I want to do a bit of true crime because most people come here for true crime, not for hurricane information. Although we've done a lot of hurricane today. All right, I will tell you if we get anything breaking, I will let you know. Actually, I was going to look here just for a quick sec before we get off it. So they're not even suggesting that there's going to be much of a tornado threat from the hurricane. You have a marginal risk down here in Florida, which is very interesting considering the time of year and the hurricane itself. But okay. Actually, we have a mesoscale discussion too. They're saying there is an increasing risk for tornadoes may not occur near coastal areas until late tonight or after daybreak. And they're looking at these. So what these are what we call isolated or discrete thunderstorms. So they're discrete because they're not together. So they're away from, so see something like this is all bunched up. These are what we call discrete. They're on their own. And that allows them more room to mature or turn into supercells or put down a tornado. When they get jumbled up with other storms, they fight for the ingredients to become stronger. So they all have to sort of compete when they're away like this. So a lot of times you'll see the warnings like this. They like this. When you see them separate with their own airflow around it, that means that you got a better chance of having a storm that'll become a supercell or produce a tornado, become more severe. It may even be that only one of these becomes more severe and the other two die out as one becomes more dominant. So that does tend to happen. One of them will become dominant, suck up all the interesting, warm air and cape and stuff like that, and these two will die out because not enough ingredients or stuff like that. A tornado or supercell is almost like baking a cake. You need certain ingredients to make it happen. You need some turning winds by height, what we call shear, but different type of shear compared to the shear that hurricane that it's not different. It just works in a different way for hurricanes versus tornadoes. Tornadoes need it because when the winds, I'll show you like this, the winds will change in height like this, like that, sort of like this or like that. As you go up in the atmosphere, they sort of change. So you'll get one that goes northeast, one that goes east, one that goes northeast, whatever. And they sort of change just a little bit as you go up through the atmosphere. When that happens, the storm, when it matures, it taps into that wind in the atmosphere, and that causes turning at different levels throughout the storm. That way you get more chance of that storm starting to spin, and you get your supercell thunderstorm and tornado and so on. So there is a little bit of a tornado risk on this. They call this the Treasure Coast, right? Down here, down near the Florida Keys. So if you're down in this area, you may have a tornado threat tonight. Watch probability only 20% though, and that is coming off the low here, which is the hurricane up into Florida. All right, let's do some true crime. Even Judy Run was about Milton today. Gray Hughes is live covering hurricane. All right. All right. I hope he does well. Melody says Gray lives in the Northwest like me. Not sure what he knows. I'm not sure either. At least I can give you some real experience for it. Okay, I want to talk more about Miss Lawrence, the missing woman we spoke about yesterday, and we're going to do that for the next half an hour because this case is just an absolute. It's a mess. It really is, and it's been going on since 2009. This woman has been missing from England for that long. So let me load this up. Her name is Claudia Lawrence. So the first thing I wanted to show you was not that. The first thing I wanted to show you was about the arrests that have been done over the last, I don't know, it was 2024. She went like the last 15 years. 15 years, can you believe it? 15 years that this woman has been missing. And they've arrested 12 people in that time. And none of them have had charges put against them. Some of them have been released on bail, some of them have been released under caution, but no one has been charged over the disappearance of Claudia officially. Now, from what I understand, the local police, which is the York police, I'm pretty sure, they were the ones conducting the investigation. they handed a dossier or a file to their prosecuting office, and it had 4 names on it, and they asked their it's almost like a legal thing they have to do, so they'll give them the evidence, the names, and what charges they think might be appropriate, and they give it to this agency and say, "Hey, does this meet the legal standard to charge these people?" They gave this, dossier or file to them, and they knocked it back, saying there was insignificant or just not enough evidence. Sorry, Ping lost his words for a second. They said there was just not enough evidence for them to proceed with any charges for anyone, not just one or two or three. Neither of those 4 people were going to face murder charges. And I'll read you this article from the BBC. It says men will not face murder charges over Claudia Lawrence's supposed murder and disappearance. They say 4 men were arrested over the murder of missing chef Claudia Lawrence, and they will not face any charges. The men, who are all in their 50s and from the York area, were arrested last year. Miss Lawrence, 35, disappeared after leaving her house on Heworth Road in York on the 19th of March 2009. They say North Yorkshire Police said the decision not to charge the 4 men had been taken by the CPS. That's it. That's their prosecuting service, sort of like your DA, or like your you guys have that like a DA that decide whether they can proceed with charges or have to go to a grand jury. In the UK, they use the CPS, which is the Crown Prosecution Service, and they're the ones who see if the legal bar has been met for culpability and proof. So it says here the arrest made in March and April of last year came after a review of the initial investigation into her disappearance was launched in 2013. They said the Detective Superintendent Di Malin said he believed the investigation had been compromised by the reluctance of some and refusal of others to cooperate with police inquiries. He said, "I am sure that there are some people who know or who have very strong suspicions about what happened to Claudia. For whatever reason, they have either refused to come forward or have been economic with the truth." Don't you love how they speak? Economic with the truth. They say, "I am left with the inescapable conclusion that this case could be still solved if only those people were honest with us. The fact they are not is agonizing for Claudia's family, and they should be ashamed of themselves." And the people they're talking about is there was a not a tight knit circle, but a circle of people that Claudia hung out with at a bar called the Nag in the local town, only a few doors down from her house, and there's an alleyway that actually you're able to access her home and the bar. That's how close it is. She hung out there like a few nights a week, and actually just before her disappearance and supposed murder, they say that she stopped hanging out there due to feeling uncomfortable. You tell me what that means. Um, those people that hang out at that pub are some of the people the police are talking about who they say have been economical with the truth. Basically, they're not telling the whole story. So they're saying they think there's people out there, whether by relationship or other allegiances to other people, are not telling what happened to Claudia. Is it fear of reprisal? Is it fear of relationship breakdown? Don't know. Could be both. They said here they believe the detective superintendent believes a man captured on CCTV walking near her home on the night of her disappearance was the most important person to trace. He hasn't come forward, and I can only speculate why he hasn't done so and whether someone is protecting him. They said they had not ruled out the possibility a complete stranger was involved, but strongly favored the theory those involved in her disappearance were close to her. Yes, so several times the police have come out and said, we believe that the answers to what happened to Claudia revolve around her private life. So that's very strong wording from the UK police. They say the case will remain open until the day Claudia has been found and those responsible for her suspected murder are brought to justice. Martin Dales, a friend and spokesperson for Miss Lawrence's father, Peter, said it is nearly the 7th anniversary of Claudia's disappearance, and it seems that we're all back to square one. It's really quite depressing, and especially as someone is clearly withholding the information needed. I can tell you that since this article came out 7.5 years ago, her father, Peter, has passed away now, never finding out what happened to his daughter. And in the 7.5 years after this article came out, there never was anything else done really to find her. Now, okay, that's not the right wording. There's never really been any other big, new things come out about Claudia. They've done a few searches, they checked the place, they used ground penetrating radar to try and look for her at a specific location. At a gravel pit, from what I know, it was full of gravel, and they ran a ground penetrating radar over it, and they were unable to find her body. So let me show you who some of these men might be. Actually, I don't know if I can name them, but what I can do is I can tell you a little bit about them. Even though you're not supposed to and their names are not supposed to be public, I might be able to tell you. So what I can tell you is at least one of the people who is suspected of being involved in Claudia's disappearance. I cannot tell you his name due to fear of being sued, but what I can tell you is that his partner was friends or acquaintances due to personal indiscretion with Claudia. They lived very close to Claudia, literally across the road. And her boyfriend is considered the most likely suspect in who might have hurt Claudia. They also suspect that she, the female, who I also can't name, is protecting him. And that is one of the reasons you hear those messages from the CPS saying that, oh, it's relationships, we're waiting for relationships to break down. I think police were hoping in the last 15 years that those two might have broken up. But I think as far as I know, they're still together today. And that relationship has not crumbled from the pressure applied from North Yorkshire police. So if you missed the case yesterday, this is Claudia Lawrence here. She disappeared after she'd got ready for work in one morning, and they think that she was on her way, and then something happened, and that was back in 2009. Oh, we're on the wrong page again. Good work, Ping. There you go. There's a photo of her. we never tell anybody anything. Hey, good to see you. Rachel said cold cases are hard to solve. It does seem someone from that club knows something. I don't know if they're responsible or they know more than they can. I have no idea. Rachel said cold cases are often hard to solve. It does seem someone, yeah, could be. We never tell anybody anything. Yes. Cake Spoo says we won't tell anyone. Rachel says I find it interesting to learn about law in other countries. Yeah. Yeah, we did actually run through it yesterday a little bit. Yeah. Let me go back slightly. But while these people have never been charged, that's why I will not use their full names. One, I don't want to be sued. Two, they've never been named as actual suspects. While they have been arrested, that's not the same in England as being named as an official person of interest or suspect. It's not quite the same. In England, they can arrest you for anything. They can arrest you and hold you for 24 hours, and they can get an extension up to 72 hours. they can then decide whether to charge you or not. They can also then release you with a caution. They can release you for no reason and just kick you out and say, look, we're done. Or they can actually set you on bail and then boot you out and then make you sort of compliant until they're ready to cut the string later on. So their system works slightly different to the USA, where if you're brought in and charged with something or arrested, you're most likely going to be charged with something. Not quite the same as the way they do it in the UK. All right, let me see if I can find that. We watched a little video yesterday that had a little rundown from Claudia. Where is it? Hold on, I'll grab it. All right. Actually, I want to show you the one from 2021, and then I'll show you some of the earlier stuff. This is when they searched that gravel pit. Yeah, just a news update. It's only 1 minute.
Yeah, we're waiting for more information, but the police are looking at an area just behind me. It's a flooded quarry that's usually used for fishing. It's about 8 miles from where Claudia Lawrence lived, and the police haven't looked at this area before. They haven't said what information has brought them here now, but they have said this search is one of several lines of inquiry. We've just seen the police heading off to resume their search this morning, and we know that will continue into the coming days and involve underwater teams and forensic experts. Claudia Lawrence went missing 12 years ago. She was 35 years old. She was a chef at York University. And since then, there have been multiple arrests, but no charges have ever been brought. The police believe she was murdered, but they've never found a body. And the years since then, waiting with no news, have been horrific for her family. Her father, Peter, sadly died earlier this year, and he had campaigned tirelessly to find out what happened to Claudia. And for those still here, still fighting, they will be hoping that this new search could provide some clarity on that. Yeah,
That's it. That clarity never came. That was nothing. They just got nothing. They were just like, oh, yeah, we checked the gravel and nothing. They were just like, that's it. There was nothing they found, no body, no evidence. That's, I think, the biggest part. I think, like, where is she? Rachel said, it's interesting. So they arrest someone, then decide if they are charging. Right. It's sort of how it works over there. Their arrest sort of means something different. It just means that you're being held in their custody. I know that's sort of what it means in the US too, but they normally just won't arrest you for no reason. They're going to charge you if they arrest you in the USA. But in England, they have 24 hours to question you and gather evidence. They can go to court and request up to 72 hours for more time if they can show a judge or a magistrate that, like, why do they need that time? Is there a reason? Is this just a fishing expedition, or do you actually have any proof? And that's where they have to argue their case to the magistrate. And sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't. Kathy wanted to know more about the original part of the case. Actually, Kathy, maybe we can show you the videos of the guy in the alley. Let's see if we can find it. If CCTV. All right. So I'm pinching this from someone else's channel. I'll say who they are. It's Aaron Stoner. They have 20,000 subscribers. Good work. This is the CCTV. I won't play his middle bit, but these are everything. So dating from Wednesday, March 18, 2009 at approximately 5:30 in the morning. And it shows her. I'll let it explain it. Here you go. Come on, you got to share it. There we go. So University of York, where she worked. Nope. No music. That's her walking through the uni. Oh, Kathy, that's very kind. In memory of Pinky, thank you for everyone's kindness. Thank you for your kindness. I hope she was a good dog to you. There's another. You're seeing them point out her leaving. I think now, and she leaves through this cafeteria. She worked in this kitchen, and you see her leave. She heads out here through a courtyard where people are eating. And yeah, it'll explain it. So you'll see her continue on her journey. Did someone say I sent them to Gray's channel? I didn't send anyone to Gray's channel. Why would I do that? There you go. You can see her walking through the car park. And then these are sort of like the last known images of her. There's not much. This is it. So this is, I'm pretty sure this is the day before, they believe, or sort of her last day alive. She was supposed to be back at work the next day. That's when she went missing. So this is her last day on Earth. It's very creepy. You ever get that feeling watching someone who's never been found and you see them on camera and you're just like, well, where did they go? I always get that feeling. I'm like, where are they? This is Melrose Gate, not too far from where she lived. And you see her walking down the sidewalk, heading home. And it's interesting. I don't know why they released this. Was it sort of, is there something in there they want you to see? Is there some sort of behavior that they want you to pick up on? I've never really quite understood. This is the big one. Okay, well, we have to stop. Come on, computer. You have to keep up. All right. All right. This is later that same evening after she had left work and got home. All right. This is an alleyway or what would you call it? Like a little street or something. This person here proceeds to her home up here, and then just a minute or so later comes back. But on his way back, he sees a person crossing the street down there, and they stop, wait for that person to cross and get out of sight, and then they continue on. It's very odd behavior. It's like, why would you do that if you're not doing something wrong? All right, let's watch that. So he comes up here, and this is at 7:15 p.m., about an hour before she last speaks to her parents. And he goes up there, and then he returns a little bit later. This is the other one. 1 minute and 8 seconds later, returns from around her place, and then he sees that person in the white. See? And then just stops for no reason, almost like he's scared to be identified. Like, that's a very weird behavior. Waits for that person to proceed and then keeps going. And then this footage of a car. This is around 9 p.m. She sends one last text message, I think not too far from this time frame. And there's a white car out the front of her place. I think it's out the front of her house. They want to know whose vehicle this is. And I don't think they've ever figured it out. They want to know who owns this white car in the circle. And they believe that they never have. And then this is the following day at 5 a.m. in the morning. This is not too far away from where she would have left for work around this time. She started work 5:30 in the morning, something like that. And there was someone hanging around that almost looks like the same guy from the night before, right? The one who stopped and looked at the other person. And then 49 seconds later, he takes off again. Same as the night before. Or only this time he didn't stop. It's a little odd, right? All right, this is Melrose Gate, March 19. So this is later that day. I don't know why it's so foggy. And yeah, it's all a little odd. There seems like there's a lot of people who should have been able to see something or know something, and no one seems to have any clue. Same guy. Yeah, they believe that is the same guy. And then whoever this is, they're looking for this person too. All people hanging around her either path to work or around her property after she was already missing. I'm not sure in this video exactly what they're looking at. There is that car. I'm guessing that's what they want, that little car. And then here, there's a car that's here and a person across the street. That person almost looks like the same dressed person that was walking on the other side in the other video. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Let's hold on. Let's go back here. So there's this person dressed in white with black pants. And then there's a person on the opposite side, but they're wearing all white, aren't they? Are they wearing all white? It's hard to see. There is a vehicle too. Ah, that might be that same white car. I don't know if it's the person they're looking for or this car. This car almost looks like that same vehicle in that original footage back here. Yep, that looks like that same vehicle. Right there. Very similar anyway. There you go. That's all the known CCTV, but this guy's very odd. This one. Why would he sort of go up to her property, like the morning that they believe she went missing, and then run away? 49 seconds later. Same dude as the other one. Same dude. I reckon it's the same guy as this one. They walk very similar. They sort of go the same direction and do the same thing. This is the night before. That other video is 5 a.m. the following morning. This one, 7 p.m. the night before. Very strange. Does the same thing, walks up to her property, turns around, and a minute later goes back in the opposite direction. Same thing at 5 a.m. in the morning, goes up to the property, turns around, and goes in the opposite direction. It's all a little weird. And the thing I left out in this particular, on his way back, they believe he's holding like a backpack or something, or like a sports bag, like a cylinder shaped sports bag that a lot of men carry to the gym or whatever. Something like that. Because you can see when on his way down there, he's not holding anything. See, he's just a dude. I know it's hard to tell, it's very blurry. But on his way back, he's definitely got something slung over his shoulder. He's got something on the top there. It's hard to see, but right there, there's like a bulge at the back of his back. That shouldn't be there. So did he go to her property and pick something up? And as he walks, it's sort of like jumping up and down as he walks. You can kind of see it in that light there, actually. It looks like it might almost be black or purple or something under the street lamp. There's something on his back. And then he turns the corner, never to be seen until 5 a.m. the next morning. When he does this, what on earth could he be doing? Do you think he's checking out the crime scene? Do you reckon he's checking out his handiwork, seeing if someone has discovered her? Why would he go up there for only 40 seconds and then take off again? Twice in about 12 hours. Like a duffel bag, yes, like a duffel bag. Kathy says, if he killed her, where is the body? Don't know. Yes, so she was missing a what do you call that thing that girls use to make their hair flat? A hair straightener. A hair straightener. She was missing a hair straightener from her home. They always come back to look. You might be right, Mr. OJM. Jojo says, yes, seeing if anyone has figured out she's missing. Maybe. I have a photo of those straighteners. Hold on. Here. This is not a great photo, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that. But here is the straightener. This is the type and make and model GHD, and this is the one they believe was taken from her home. I'm just trying to see if there's any other. Yeah, let's go to the Telegraph. I think they've got some evidence photos too. They said in her vehicle, they also discovered a cigarette butt from a man with a DNA profile, but they haven't been able to figure out whose DNA profile it is. And then there is this guy as well. Let me see if I can open this image. This fella, they want this guy to come forward. They believe he may have information on Claudia, and he was located in a co-op in Tang Hall in York on the 4th of the 1st, 2009, and he said to people that he knew Claudia, but he has never made himself available to police for interview, and they've been looking for him for a while. A flat iron. Okay, is that what you call it? A flat iron? Maybe the straightener was the murder weapon, like the cord. You wouldn't be the first person to say that she was strangled to death with the straightener. Yes, I think a lot of people think that. It is a very weird case. I agree. But you got to think, where could they have taken her in very little time to dump her body that she's never been found? Like, I would like to know, like, where could they have put her? Let's see if I can find anything. Trying to find something from when she actually went missing, so I could show it to you. Yeah, let's watch this. This has some of people that know her in it and her mum.
I give up altogether. I might as well finish altogether.
It's been 12 years. Claudia's left behind a sister, 2 lovely nephews, and a mum. Her dad passed, not knowing, and it's now time to just come forward. And it could be totally insignificant, but if it's that one thread that unravels this entire mystery, then it just means that we can all find some peace.
Peter always made it very clear, as far back as a couple of years ago, he couldn't be here for the 10th because he was in hospital having heart issues, that he wanted it to carry on whatever. So we're determined to carry on. In Peter's memory, we must get an answer.
The Yorkshire Police still ask people for help. She worked at that university in that video I showed you. Here, I'll show you back here. This place here. This is the University of York. She was a chef here in this canteen. Where's the canteen? Back here. So here's a canteen. She in the back here. She worked as a chef. It's not too far from her home. She used to walk there most of the time, although they believe sometimes people that knew her would see her on their way to work, and they would give her a lift down the road, save her from walking. And this is where she works. This is when she left work the day before they believe she went missing. The day before. So this was the last time she turned up to work, is what I'm saying. University of York, March 18, 2009. I don't know why, but her parents consider March 18 as her anniversary of her going missing. And I think that's probably because that's the last time they spoke to her on the phone. But the police believe she went missing the following morning on her way to work or getting ready for work. So that's what they believe. Oh, hair crimpers. I don't think I ever owned one. Yeah, her dad passed away without ever knowing. Yes, she lived alone. So she actually bought a property and she lived there on her own. The one thing that's really sad about this particular case is since she went missing, her private life has been splashed all through the papers, and they basically painted her as a giant whore. They painted her as a whore who was a homewrecker and would steal people's husbands and things like that. See, they pictured police portrayal of missing chef Claudia Lawrence as a promiscuous woman who got a thrill out of dating men is built on a bed of lies, according to her mother. Yeah, even the police came out and said, oh, she had so many boyfriends and she was like screwing so many guys, and they're like, oh, it's hard to track them all down. She had so many. And then there was a bunch of different rumors, and it got really messy, unfortunately. Let's listen to her mum questioning the investigation here.
As a stubborn Yorkshireman, this only fueled me to keep going and investigate Claudia's disappearance. But first, there was somebody I needed to speak to. Hiya, Joan.
Hiya.
Joan Lawrence is Claudia's mum. She's in her 80s, and she told me that this might be her last chance to find the truth. So with her blessing, this is episode 1 of Answers for Claudia.
My name is Joan Lawrence, and for the last 15 years I've been trying to get answers as to what may have happened to my daughter Claudia.
So that was her mum. Her mum's in her 80s now. Her dad has already passed away, and her mum believes that her failing health may make it so that she never finds out either what happened to her own daughter. And that would be very sad if both parents ended up passing away without ever knowing what happened to their daughter. The only thing you could hope for is that, heaven's a real place and they get to see each other again, and she can tell them what happened to her. Even though they'll all be gone from this world, you would still be able to at least tell them. All right, let me show you something else from Claudia. So in that video I showed you before from Facebook, here, where is it? This woman here, her name is Jen King. Jen King is the partner of the guy that I was telling you about. I'm not going to name him, but this is the partner. This is the female that is associated with him. So she often speaks on Claudia's behalf. A lot of people believe that she's insincere in how she speaks about Claudia. And some people think that she's, got more to tell about what happened to her. Yeah, a hussy? Okay, interesting. Yes, so like I read at the start of it, a whole bunch of guys, one's associated with the pub, one guy owned the pub, the rest are people who visited the pub regularly, so they're regulars of that pub called the Nag, and another one is the partner of this woman, also regulars at the pub. So a lot of men have been arrested over it, but no one has been charged. It is very, very strange to arrest all these people, but no one's ever been actually charged with it. Here's a photo of Claudia and her dad, by the way. Her dad's now passed away, and that's his daughter, Claudia. And let's see. Yeah, they said, having been appointed senior investigative officer in October 2020, I am fully aware of the complexities that exist in this inquiry, which sadly has to be treated as that of a suspected murder. However, the single barrier to unlocking the answers for Claudia's loved ones and bringing those responsible for her disappearance to justice remains the same: silence. Silence from the people who know or may suspect what happened to Claudia, but have so far, for reasons that are only known to them, been unable to come forward to police or even pass on information to Crime Stoppers anonymously. There may be many reasons as to why they have been unable to come forward. However, my plea to them on reaching 15 years of living with the knowledge you have is to do the right thing and make a report. You can help bring an end to the pain and uncertainty for Claudia, her mum, and all who loved her. Officers believe that the chef who lived in the Heworth area of York was murdered, although no body has ever been discovered. North Yorkshire Police have conducted 2 investigations, questioned 12 people, and no charges have ever been brought. The last major police operation in relation to the case was in 2021, when officers spent a number of days conducting an extensive search of flooded gravel pits at Sand Hutton, near York. It is believed 12 arrests have been made so far, but no names of those questioned have been confirmed. These include a 59-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of murder in May 2014, as were 3 men in their 50s in the York area the following April. But still, no charges. Yeah, so here, first look inside her home after she vanished. So that's I reckon that'd be very creepy, right? To have to look at that. Let's go back.
The first time ever.
Let me pause that. You can see like all her stuff is still all over the shop. Although it looks like there might have been a TV there that's not there. Her mother said that she would like to see Claudia's home turned into a refuge for people who either need a home or would like to, like they might be in a crisis, maybe, fire or floods or something like that. She said she'd like Claudia's home to be used for good instead of keeping on to bad memories that it currently contains. So she wanted her home to be used for victims that need help. Frozen in time, very much so. Hey Brenda, how are you? So it's a very sad case, and there's so much more to it. I'm actually going to link you to a article here from the Medium on one condition: that you understand who wrote this may be a little bit kooky. Okay, because they did like a 9,000 pages. I don't know how many pages this is, but I showed you yesterday. But there is literally a billion. Look at this. Look how tiny the little side thing is here. Look at this. I'll keep scrolling. I'm not even halfway there. I'm not even halfway. All right, I'm finally about halfway through. There is so much information on this webpage about Claudia. It's still going. We're not even at the end. It will take you hours to read this, I promise. I've read it twice. Actually. There's some better photos of that straightener or whatever you call it. That's a much better photo. This is what they believe was missing from her home. And this came from GHD Quality Management System Work Instruction. So this came from their internal systems, probably when they did their QC or quality control. They probably took photos of every iron or whatever that was completed, and they were able to show you. I don't know if this is just one that they keep as a example or it's actually her one. I'm not sure. I'd say it might be just an example to show people, hey, this is what's missing from Claudia's apartment. But that's there you go. Apparently here, when they searched someone's home in relation to Claudia's disappearance, they took a hair straightener. You can see it here. It says GHD on a box in a box of evidence that they took. It says GHD. So they thought, hey, we might have something here, but never have we ever known if that was her straightener or not. And I'm just trying to see if there's anything else here. A lot of things about the potential suspects. Oh, okay. So this is Claudia's house here. A skylight to kitchen and the bathroom right there. And apparently you can get out the back here and walk down an alleyway and get into the pub car park from her property. You can go out the back, down an alleyway, and get into this car park. And this is the drinking hole where many of the suspects that were arrested drink every day. And she lived 4 homes away from the pub. And that's why they say the people involved in this are probably some people from her private life. And now you see why, how close everything is. So there you go, if that helped you visualize it. GHD is common? Yes. Yes, if you want the article, I'll give it to you. And try and read it. And if you come up with more questions for me, you can ask me on another show. Hola. Hey, Glitter. How are you? Glitter, I put your name in the credits. Did you see? I hope you saw. That's how special you are. The only thing is, this font that you use for your name was unable to be put in my software for making videos. So it just says Glitter. You can look for it at the end of the show. Rachel says someone who hung at that pub knows something. I agree. That's what the police believe too. It stands for Good Hair Day. Does it really? I have no idea. I don't own anything from them. Oh, good. I'm happy. I'm happy that helped you. Yeah, this case is just bonkers. Whoops. There might be some names of people who may be involved. I've never seen that before. I've never seen this before. I've never seen. Oh my god, it's larger. Oh my god, who did that? Who made it larger and more readable? That's not me. I didn't do that. There must be something wrong with the website. Oh my god, it gets even larger. I didn't. I mean, this must be a mistake. I didn't do that. That must. How dare they? How dare they? Oh my lord! I've never seen such errors before. Yeah. So there is a lot of interesting bits and pieces on here. If you'd like to delve more into the case, I put the link in the chat for you all. It's up here. Here. There you go. It's a Medium article written by Major Lang, whoever that is. Yeah, I must be hacked. I've never seen such a thing. Never seen it happen before. It's very unlike me. But there you go. There's some possible. I like this photo. In 2009, she looked like this. 10 years later, she may have aged. What do you mean? She just got closer to the camera? Is that what we're trying to say? You just, expanded her face? I don't think that's very good reconstructive technology. I think Parabon might not be out of a job. I think they'll be still getting police departments to help, because whoever did this, I don't think they helped. I think she just looks a little tired. She's just like, oh man, somebody killed me. That's sort of what's going on there. I don't think they're like, this is what she might look like 15 years later. Yes, I often look expanded 15 years later too. You have to zoom out, buddy. You have to zoom out. What Claudia may look like today, I'm not sure about that. No. I don't think she looks like that. She might have to take a step back. It says here, prior to moving to Heworth, Claudia had a house in Malton. That's where her parents live. But her long-term married lover, Mr. PM, whoever that is. I've no idea. I've never seen his name before. Where did that go? Oh, it disappeared. See what happens? There's a lot of errors on this website, I'm telling you. Names appear, they disappear. Happens all the time. Oh my god, she's back. Here we go. It says, prior to moving to the area. Did it again. Stop doing that. Yeah. Prior to moving to the area, she had a house in Malton, but her long-term married lover, it says redacted here for me. Do you see that? It says her long-term married lover redacted. Oh, that's a weird error. Of 8 years, didn't move in with her. She always suspected that he was cheating on her. This caused her to come to work sometimes in tears. Well, start screwing guys who are single then. I mean, if you're gonna have sex with married men, you got to understand that they're not all gonna leave their wives. Not judging, just saying. It's just a fact. They'll take all the milk you'll give them for free. They ain't gonna marry. It says she was fantastic at her job and was a really hardworking person. She didn't like to go to front of house as a chef because sometimes girls from Malton were there, and it was alleged that she was not very popular in the old area. Claudia had a wide circle of friends as well as a smaller, closer group. Much of her socializing, but not all of it, was centered around the Nag's Head public house, or a pub. And if she was out drinking, almost always she would return there, as the lock-ins were until about 3 to 4 in the morning on many evenings, particularly at the weekend. Here's her with some people. It says here in the description, here on this image, you may find people who are suspected of murdering Claudia. Oh my god, you don't say. Oh my god. They've solved it. That's a weird inscription to put under a photo. There you go. Some people who, yeah. It says here, a close friend and work colleague of 8 years described Claudia as follows. The answer to Claudia's behavior lay in her drinking. She was a lovely girl, but when drunk, other girls didn't like her. She could drink 6 or 7 pints of cider a night, but had started to drink vodka. If you asked her out for a drink, she would never say no. Claudia became reckless with her drinking. Okay. She was always secretive, always texting, and this came across to some as rather rude and insensitive. She could be immature and bitchy and pull faces behind people's backs. This was most likely to be the drink talking, as Susie Cooper explained. If Claudia had a worry, it was wanting to be liked and worrying what other people thought of her, especially what she might have said the night before, and she would worry the next day saying, "Oh no, what did I say?" They also say she took holidays in Cyprus and Greece and made friends easily when in Cyprus, visiting the country at least 10 times. And yeah, there you go. They say what we have learned so far is that she did not spend every single night at the pub and varied between nights out in York City Centre with Jen and Susie, more of a girls' night. Sometimes Claudia would have a boys' night out, and on a few occasions taxis would be booked to arrive at the Nag's Head. 8 people would go off somewhere. On these occasions, Jen and Susie didn't come along, and they say, why? They say here, again, suspects pictured on night out. Man, these disappearing, inscriptions are bizarre. They say there was also a suggestion that Claudia was seeing a police officer and they would meet at the Carlton Tavern, which was next door to the police station in Acomb, an area where her mobile phone had indicated that she was spending a lot of time the few weeks before she went missing, hence the suspicion. Could the police officer be of significant seniority? I've heard that rumor too, but I've never been able to confirm anything about it. Glitter says most won't leave their wives, and if they do, they expect they will leave you too. Exactly. Glitter said, did his wife maybe find out and set something up? That is a theory that a lover's wife may have found out something and hurt her, or made her husband hurt her. Jealous girlfriend, possibly. Yes, that is one of the rumors. You are expanded. I like to expand too. Every 15 years, I just like a caterpillar. Zoom out. All right. I think that's it. I think that's going to be it for the night. But yeah, if you want to read more into that link, you'll spend hours trawling through it, finding little bits that you find interesting. I think I've given you the majority of what I found interesting, but oh my God, these people say redacted again. It's so weird. Weird. Yeah, if you troll through that website, if you have questions or you find something interesting, post it in the comments or tell me tomorrow during the show and we can have another talk about Claudia. Because I find her case fascinating. Very fascinating. How someone can just disappear off the face of the earth for 15 years and not a single trace of her can be found. Nothing. Not even one thing. Not even a piece of hair. Nothing. They've not been able to locate anything of hers. We will do another night on Claudia at some point too, because I think her case needs to keep being kept in the world of true crime. It really does. My stomach's going crazy because I haven't eaten yet. Metamorphosis, yes. I know, my lovelies. I know, but it's almost 5 p.m. here. It's almost 5 p.m. in Australia. And I've literally been on the air since like midday. Because I did my show, I did some of Trisha's, and then I came back and did this one. I've been on the air for almost 5 hours. I haven't really had a break. So, and I still gotta eat something, have a protein shake, get a workout in, do stuff for nighttime, and then get ready for tomorrow. Yeah, I need to go have my protein shake and eat. 5 p.m. Yeah, it's almost 5 p.m. The time change over the weekend has really screwed me around. I used to come do the late show and then I'd get off about 3:34, and I'd still have a lot of time to do everything. But now with the hour being pushed forward, when I get out of here for the late show, it's almost 5 p.m. at night now. It's bonkers. Yes, so tomorrow we'll have storm coverage. for Milton, and we're gonna see it to landfall. We're gonna follow it through to its collision with the Florida coastline. That'll be very interesting. We'll have a normal show at 9 p.m. too. Hey, you guys can't accuse me of not bringing you hundreds of hours of live shows. We do every month. Yes, I will see you tomorrow. Oh, she's on now? Kresha is? Is she really? Kresha. Kresha, send me a link. I'm going to come on your channel. Actually, I want Kresha on here one night. Kresha, come on my show another night and hang out with me. We can talk true crime. Tell Kresha to come hang out here. Actually, go to Kresha's and said Ping sent you, and see what she says. All right. Hey, thank you very much, Kathy. By the way, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your story about Pinky with us. I'm so sorry that you had to let her go. It's never fun. And Diane, for becoming a member tonight. You both are very generous. I appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow. Oh, it's Difficult Research is Kresha's channel. Difficult Research. I can give it to you. Hold on. Here, my friends. Here you go. There's Kresha's channel. Say hi to Kresha for me, okay? Tell her say hi, and I hope she's doing all right. All right, I got to go, my lovelies. I'll see you later. Good night.